Hi, welcome. This is Patty Bennett. Today is another weekly free card class video, and I have so many things to share with you featuring the Stampin' Up! Timeless Charm Bundle. I just got really on a roll, and in addition to these 5 cards, I've got 3 more over here to show you, plus some other tips and ideas, and just some maybe stamping techniques that you hadn't possibly thought about in a while. So we have so much to do. If you're watching live, then today would be Friday, July 7th, and it is 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're watching a replay, I would invite you to just skip ahead a little bit so that you don't have to listen to all the welcomes and hellos and all those things. Hey, Shan. Hi, Linda. Hi, Keisha. Okay, Keisha says she's ready and she has her snacks. I need a snack. That was smart, Keisha. I want a snack. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Mary. Hey, Linda. Welcome, everybody. So happy that you are here. This is the bundle that we're going to look at today, but I also have other products that I'm going to share with you, other ideas, things that we are going to create with today. And this is part of the online exclusive release, so we're going to talk about that for anyone who hasn't been watching my blog or my videos or the Stampin' Up! Site or social media, and maybe you haven't seen the information about online exclusive. So we're going to talk about that as well. Let's see. Anybody? Oh, hi, Patty. Hi, Mary Ellen, Donna, Carol. Hello, everybody. So glad that you're here. Hey, Linda from Manitoba. That's fun. Hi, Stacy in South Florida. Mary is watching from Kansas City. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Stacy. That's so kind of you. She said she shared my video. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Hi, Mary. Welcome, everyone. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started, and we are going to have fun today looking at these cards, and I'm going to tell you how I kind of started out, what my thought was, and how far I deviated from that thought, because you all are just going to laugh at me as usual. We are talking about a new online exclusive stamp set, and in the Stampin' Up! Online store, when you log in to stampinup.com, if you are shopping with me, if you're one of my customers, you'll see my name up there and my photo, and it will say shopping with Patty Bennett. That's how you know that you're shopping with me, and you can use my customer loyalty program to earn your free stamps or products. And if you're not one of my customers, if you have a demonstrator, that's fine. But the online store should look similar. So when you log in, you're going to see under the online exclusive tab, which if you click on it from the top, you'll get right to this page. Otherwise, menu, view all, online exclusives. That's how you would find these. So remember, we've talked about this, that this is a program that is releasing 3 times a year, every 4 months, and July is one of these releases. So I printed out just in a little bit bigger fashion so you can see. We have that trucking bundle, which, sorry for the reach, mine just arrived like barely minutes ago, so I am so excited to play with this weekend. I think I'm just going to give myself a little timeout in my craft room. We have that trucking bundle. We have some beautiful new ribbon. We have this one's French, so I'm going to show you this one. This stamp set has some round Christmas images that kind of look like stained glass. That's a new set. And then they are showing a new kit here, Blossom Wishes. And then there's also the horse and sleigh, which remember we've looked at the one horse open sleigh cards that I've been working on. That was last week, so we've talked about that. Then here's the Timeless Charm set. And where are the dies? Don't tell me they're already unavailable. Oh my heavens, are they really? Good grief. Good grief. Oh dear. Does somebody know? Holy business. Are they already sold? They can't be sold out. I'm going to have to investigate that when we get off of here, because that's what I'm showing you today is the dies. Well, okay. Anyway, moving along. Oh dear. Oh dear. Because I've used the dies a lot on here. So I'm going to have to figure that out when I get off of the live. Hi, Susan and Kathy and Faith and Christine and Nell and Jean, Hope, Holly, Barbara. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. So let me just tell you the funny thing about how these evolved. My very first thought was, and if you know me, you're probably going to laugh at this. You're going to be like, really? This is what you thought you were going to do? My intent was to take a circle die, take the Memento ink pad, and use this stamp it right here, and color it in with Stampin' Blends, add a greeting, and I was going to do just a super simple card. I was going to take this, I was going to like maybe just put it on a die and then put it on a card base, and that was going to be my card. Okay, you can see how well that turned out. And if you know me, you're laughing at me because you're like, yeah, she doesn't do simple. She doesn't do just one layer little cards. She always has to go like 14 steps beyond. So that's how this card started. It was the circle. I stamped it. I colored it. Then I thought, well, I'll just stamp a couple of sprigs behind there. So I used that one and this one, and I stamped those kind of behind. Then I thought, well, that's kind of plain. So then I die cut this piece, and I die cut a leaf, and then I die cut the flowers, and then I die cut another flower. And yeah, you can see how unsimple that card. Thank you, Colleen. The dies are still there. I'm not sure why they didn't print on my copy. Thank you for checking. Thank you. Crisis averted. Thank you all. Anyway, so back to the card. So yeah, my simple idea ended up turning into this card. And so I was like, you know what? Just go with the flow. Just go with what you like to do. If you don't want to do a simple one layer single stamp card, then don't. Just make it something different. So that's what I started to do. And what I found when I was working on these was that I have a great tip for you when I am coloring this particular die and then the other dies as well. And so I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to focus on this video then, is showing you how I colored those dies. And the die that I'm talking about particularly, and there's a blue jay squawking at me outside there, is this one. So this is the die that I've used, and I decided to take a half a sheet of white, basic white cardstock, and I die cut a half a sheet just by moving these dies around over and over and over, and I left them stuck into the paper. This is the key for this. This is what makes this so easy. So if it pops out, like you saw this one had popped out, just put it back into place. And I've actually, see, I've got it on the clear plate from my die cutting machine. I just left it right on that plate, and I'm going to color on it this way. It makes it, I think, easier to add the color with the blending brushes and the Stampin' Blends. So I've got this die, this die, this die, the leaves, and I think I did this one and this flower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I used 6 different dies off of here to just die cut plain white paper. And if you want to kind of know where we're headed, this is what my finished piece looked like. You see that I colored right on here and then I popped them out. And you might be way ahead of me. You might be thinking, you know, oh, well, I get that. I know how to do this. That's fine. Maybe this will just be a little refresher for you. Maybe you already know this, and that's fine too. But for those who haven't tried this, I wanted to show you. I have Berry Burst ink. I have Bubble Bath ink, so a dark and a light pink. So here you can see this is Berry Burst, and this one is kind of a combo of Bubble Bath and Berry Burst. I've got sort of two different darknesses, I guess. Is that what you call it? This one also has some darks and lights on it. I have my blending brush for Bubble Bath. I have my blending brush for Berry Burst. And then for the greens, I am using my Stampin' Blends. And I have Granny Apple Green and Parakeet Party. I think these four colors pair really well for greens. I was really wanting to use the Lemon Lime, but let me show you. Let me just grab it and show you. Lemon Lime actually has a lot of yellow in it. This is Lemon Lime, and it goes much better with olive. So if you wanted to use these four greens, that's great, or these four, but they don't really mix and match because these are a lighter, bluer, brighter green, and these are the more yellow, subdued olive tones. So I did not use those. I used these four. All right. So let me just check. Were there any? Thank you, everybody, for checking on the dies. I'm not sure why it didn't print on mine. I didn't mean to give everybody a, whatever. Let's see. Did I miss? Yes, I showed the truck bundle. Yep. It came just like barely a minute or two before the video. I made a really quick graphic and posted it, and there it is. So the truck bundle, let me address the truck bundle for a moment. The truck bundle actually went out of stock earlier in the morning yesterday, then it came back in stock, and then it went out of stock later in the afternoon. Luckily, Stampin' Up! Has extra punches. They've got the truck punch. It's available. You can buy the punch right now. If you are wanting the stamp set that goes with it, it is available in French. If you don't care about the greetings and you just want these, you could get this bundle in French right now. It's available. But the English stamp set, they have to make more, and so it will be back in stock later this month if you missed it yesterday. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to check for questions. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, I think we are all caught up. Thank you, everybody, for checking. So here is my technique, let's say, for coloring these. I barely am getting any Berry Burst ink, just little taps. I'm going to rub off. See how dark this is like really saturated. This is a dark color. Rub off a lot of my color, and then I'm just going to very, very, very gently dab on some color, but I'm not doing the whole thing. I really like it when it goes from dark to white. So we have our Berry Burst, we have a lighter pink, and then we have some white. That's how I like it. If you would rather have it all one color, all dark, by all means, just, do the whole thing. Like, for instance, I'll just show you. Let's just do this whole thing. Let's make the whole thing dark pink. Well, dark Berry Burst, to be, exact. So there you go. You can just do it all one shade. But I really like how this kind of blends out. So that's what I did for my flowers. For this other flower, this one, I don't know what that really is in real life, what flower. I did the Bubble Bath, just gave it little bits of color. And this is a pretty light color, so you kind of have to go over this one more than you would with Berry Burst or maybe like Melon Mambo or Poppy Parade. Those are darker. So I did just light like that. And then without even re-inking, I just sort of did a couple of flicks to give some dark and light pink, just a little. See how that's just barely? So then you go from the light to the dark all in one. And then with our blends, and it doesn't really matter which colors, I just like grab one. So this is light parakeet. So I'm going to put some green on here. Then I'm going to go to my dark parakeet and do kind of the bottom side of the leaf there, a little bit right under the flower because that would be darker. And then let's do some light granny apple, just a little bit darker there, just to give a little bit of shading, and then go back to the light. You know me, light, dark, light. Okay, looks like a little bit of a mess, right? Can you all see that? So it does look kind of messy. It looks kind of like, oh dear. But just wait, I'm going to color this one, and then I'll show you when you pull it out of the backing, or, you know, this whole piece, then it looks magically beautiful. It's really kind of fun, and it's like pulling off the mask when you're masking something, and then it's that magical, like, oh, that's so pretty. I know it looks like a kindergartner's trying to color, but let's watch here. When we pull this out, it's just going to be beautiful. Look how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think it's so stunning. And it's just so much easier when you have all this little delicate part. It's so much easier to color it, leaving it in this backing piece than it is to pull it out of here and then try to color, because then you just risk everything moving all over and getting bent. But look how pretty. Anybody like that? Just curious. Heart or a thumbs up if you like it. I'm curious. Oh, good. A few of you are saying that you hadn't thought about doing it this way. I am so glad. Yes, the stem is so much more stable that way. So much easier to give it some color. Yay! I am so glad you like it. And so there we have our darker flower. So that's what I did. I colored a whole sheet. Well, a few. I think this is probably my third or fourth one. And then I had all these pieces to use on my card. I thought it was really cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad. All right, so we have more. Don't go away. I have more to show you. I have 3 more cards with an entirely other, like, whole realm of stuff to show you. So then you can see here on my finished cards, I just picked out, let's see, do we have, yeah, we have one of these. I just picked out a ton of different die cuts. This one is my favorite right here from Scallop Contours, this one. So I just pulled out a whole bunch of different die cuts, and I just started arranging and thinking about how I might want to feature some of these, you know, what I want to do that. This one that I stamped, I actually ended up putting the die cut flower on top of it. So you have that as an option. And then you can layer your different pieces. I love layering die cuts. And thanks to my die cutting fairy, Tammy, who I'm not sure if she's on here today. I'm not sure if I saw your name go by yet, Tammy, but Tammy does lots of my white die cuts for me so that I always have extra pieces ready to go. And then you just kind of play around and you see what you want to put on which piece, how you want to layer them, and then how you want to add them to a card. So this one, again, I tried to be simple. It didn't really work because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 layers. I've got stamping in the background. I've got a die cut greeting, and I've got my die cut. So again, you know, me and simple stamping, it's just, oh, Tammy's here. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Die Cutting Fairy. Simple stamping, just, you know, it's not me. It's okay. And it's okay. It's okay. So this is one of the smaller note cards. And what I decided to add to this is this shimmer paper, which we were looking at last week. And I love how that looks, just to kind of enhance that light, airy, springy kind of a feel. This one we talked about at the beginning. So this was the beginning of my, let's make a really simple card. No, let's not make a simple card. Let's keep going. Let's add parts and pieces. So you can see behind this die cut, I've got one of these back there. And then I actually pulled apart one of these. So I used this flower here and this flower here and added that to my not so simple card. This one is probably the simplest one that I did. And this, again, is one of the note cards that Stampin' Up! Sells. It's 3.5 by 5. And I just put a die cut on top, stamped, and then added die cut flowers to it and added the die cut greeting. It's not super, super simple, but this is about as simple as Patty Bennett stamps. So there you go. Thank you, Tammy. She said they're stunning. Oh, thank you, Kathy. So maybe that's a good way to look at. Kathy said, your cards may not be simple, but they're not fussy. They're just plain gorgeous. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. This one, I used a different piece of the shimmer paper. This is, I think this is the Moody Mauve. And I die cut one of those pieces in green, Granny Apple green cardstock. You can see here one of the pieces in with the flower, and then I just snipped off the flower and added it on top of the green. So, you know, again, you're right. They're not simple, but they're not overly fussy either. That's a great way to say it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So now, so those were my first 5, and some of these are going to be on, I forgot to say, sorry, I didn't even introduce myself really, did I? Sorry, everybody. 25 minutes in and she doesn't even introduce herself. This is Patty Bennett, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I blog at pattystamps.com. And tomorrow, 3 of these cards will be on pattystamps.com. So that's July 8th. And then on Sunday, the 9th, 2 more of these cards will be on my blog. Or maybe it's vice versa. I can't remember. But anyway, Saturday and Sunday, they'll all be on my blog. Sorry about that. But then, as I was kind of getting all set up for today, I decided to kind of go rogue. And I went off on sort of a tangent. And I want to show you these cards because I think these turned out really, really pretty. And you may not have thought about doing this. So I thought, well, I'm going to share this with you. So hang on, I'm just getting all of my parts and pieces over here. For this background, this is what the background of this card looks like. And it, oh my goodness, and I don't know the name of this die. Hang on, I'll find it for you. This die, I think this is in a bundle, right? What is this bundle called? Maybe you all are, here it is. You all already know. Darling Details. I couldn't think of the name of that. This is the bundle. And I really love this die, this frame. There are 2 frames. This is the larger one. And I know a lot of people said, oh yeah, right. It's so 80s and 90s and like get over it and all that. Well, sorry. I was a crafter from the 80s and 90s, and I happen to like it. So there you go. So I layered this die cut onto a piece of white cardstock, and I used my bubble bath blending brush, and I just went basically around and around and around and around about 10 times very lightly, building up that ink, leaving it lighter in the center. And then I layered with the same technique that you just saw me do. I layered that piece and this piece on top, stamped thanks, and that was it. So again, about as simple as Patty Bennett is going to get, but I really liked this. What's old is new again. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you. My gosh, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it. So easy, somewhat simple. Pretty much anybody could do this. You just have to practice with your blending brush, really, to get a nice, soft look. So that was that one. And then this one, here's the background for this one. I used the Nested Essentials dies, and I think this is the largest one. Let me see, I've got it right here. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's the largest. Yep. So the largest of the, what do we call this? A rounded rectangle? I'm not sure. Is that a good name for that? A rounded rectangle? The largest in Nested Essentials, just die cut right out of a piece of white cardstock, a quarter sheet, laid it on top, and then this was Berry Burst. And again, over and over and over, around and around and around, keeping it very soft, very light, not doing the very, very center. And then I left these white, and I thought that was really striking and beautiful. And another stamp from Biggest Wish. That's hands down my favorite greeting set, Biggest Wish. I use that all the time. So I used Hello, Thanks, and Friend from that set. So there's that one. And then I added some of the in color pearls just for a little glitz. And then this technique, you've probably seen this before. This is where you take a sheet of cardstock and you rip it, and then you separate it apart and you set it down and you just blend your ink in that center part, in the gap. And so I did 2 layers with my Berry Burst, and then it was like, maybe it needs like a little something, something, I don't know. And so I moved the mask from there and I moved it over, and I did this layer right here with the bubble bath. And that was just sort of, that to me is what it needed, was just that little bit of an extra color. The same 2 die cuts. So if you'll notice, I did the exact, oh, forgot to show you. So that would be kind of the background of that. But I used the exact same 2 die cuts, same placement on all 3 cards, but just done a little differently, different backgrounds. Okay, so back to this one. Added the smallest Nested Essentials rounded rectangle cut in bubble bath to pull in those colors. And I'll tell you the reason I had to put a die cut on there is because you need to be careful. You can see I used these Post-it note flags to hold down my paper. Well, do you see the pink on there? This is plastic, and I touched it and I got it onto the white part of my card. So you might want to use Post-it tape or, whatever repositionable tape, or just like, a normal Post-it, a paper Post-it, because, yeah, I swiped across this plastic and it got onto my card. So, one of those like, don't do what I did type of things. And then I want to show you this idea. So if you don't have blending brushes, or if blending brushes aren't your deal, because I know not everybody loves them or feels confident, you can simply take paper and rip it and get this basic same effect. And if you're thinking, yeah, but there's a white, okay, we talked about this last week. Do you remember this? We were looking at all those specialty papers, and I pulled out this sampler, the white center specialty paper. Remember this? I was holding this and showing you the colors, and I said, should I rip it? Should I rip it? And I did it, right? So these papers are actually white in the middle. That's why it's called white center. And the color is put onto the white on both sides. So blue on this side and blue on this side. So if you tear it, you get white. So remembering that from last week, I took the, is this Freesia? Hang on. I don't know if it's Freesia or if it's supposed to be Bubble Bath. Let me see what it says. So, oops. Sorry, just moved my workspace. So white center, it is. It's Freesia and Berry Burst. So it's right here. It's number 2 on page 127. That is the white center specialty paper that I'm talking about, that I'm using. So it's Freesia, but to me, it goes well enough with the Bubble Bath. And I ripped both patterns and added that to the card base. And then on this one, can you see these 3 lines? I took another piece, yet a third piece, and on my scoreboard, my Simply Scored, I flipped it upside down, scored 3 lines, and then flipped it back. So does that show up on camera? So that you have 3 like raised lines. And I thought that looked kind of nice. It just sort of finished off that edge. And then I've got the whole thing splattered with Wink of Stella. So those, if you see little gold dots, that's what all that shimmer is. So that, there you go. That is bonus. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 bonus ideas for you using the Timeless Charm dies and different backgrounds that you might want to try. Same colors, so I've just used the Parakeet and Granny Apple and Bubble Bath and Berry Burst, and that's it. That's all I used. So you don't have to have a ton of supplies to try this, but just some fun, different ideas for you with those dies. So here's another look at the dies if you were tuning in late. I've used these 4 across the top, this one and this one. And just looking here, making sure, did I show you everything? All the things? I think I did. I think I showed you all the things. Yay! Yay! So any questions about this bundle, about all of these techniques? Thank you, Patty, Nell, Christine, Stacy, Jean, Cindy, Shanthe. Oh my gosh, thank you, everybody. Masking paper. Yes, you're right, Trisha. Masking paper would have done the trick. That would have done the trick as well. Tammy, I thought you just did that ripping blending technique like not long ago. I thought you just did it. I used to do it a long time ago before we had the blending brushes. And now that we have these, it makes that so easy to get a beautiful, smooth technique. Let's see. Oh, thank you, everybody. I'm just scrolling back in all the live comments. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm glad you like these. So glad you like these. Oh, it wasn't you, Tammy. I thought for sure you had done that recently. Okay. So those were the 4 bonus cards. And then here were the 5 cards from the beginning. I'm running out of space. Lots of ideas for you. I hope that you enjoyed all of that. And again, don't forget, pattystamps.com. tomorrow, July 8th, and then Sunday, July 9th, you'll find some of these cards. These 4 bonus cards, I didn't even have time to photograph yet. So they'll be on my blog probably around the 13th or so if you're looking for that. But you can purchase these in my online store, pattystamps.com/shop, or you can click the links on my blog post or under the YouTube video for all the supplies if you need any of them. And I should mention, since this is, oh, Monita says, I missed your live, need to watch the replay. Okay, well, this is live. We're doing it live right now. But yeah, if you missed the beginning, feel free to watch the replay. Let's see, what was I saying? Oh, the online exclusives. I did just want to mention that all online exclusives are while supplies last. Some of these things, when they sell out, they're going to be gone. Some of these items, if they sell out, they will bring them back. They will reorder them. So we don't know what is what. That's the whole idea, is that it's a limited time release and it's a limited, it's just limited. And we don't know when the supply will run out or when and if it will be reordered. So if this is something you like, I would get it soon. Or you might have some dies that are similar and maybe there's something you want to try these techniques with, and that's great as well. But I just encourage you to find something new to try like this. I hope you enjoyed all of these ideas. I just thought it was fun to mix and match and play and just use that same color scheme and make a whole bunch of cards. Any other questions? Kathy says, every time I watch a video of yours using a bundle I wasn't going to buy, you change my mind. You know, Kathy, it happens to all of us. I always look at something else and think, you know, oh, I need that now. Yes, Margaret, this bundle is available now. You might have missed the beginning. So this is called Timeless Charm, and it is part of the online exclusives that released yesterday. So yes, it is available now. Any other questions? Let's see. Next week, use the truck. You have a whole week to get creative juices flowing. Well, I probably won't use it next week, Judy, because it won't be available next week. And I would rather show it when it's available to purchase. So I will have something different for you next week, not the truck. But we will do the truck at some point when it comes back in stock. Thank you, Linda. So glad you enjoyed it. Any other questions? If you asked a question and I didn't see it, could you retype it so that I can answer your question? Hubby is sneaking by. He's trying to be stealth and quiet. Any other questions about any of these products or techniques? I am not seeing anything come through. So if you've hung out with me this long, thank you so much. I hope that you learned a few things. And if you got some ideas, I hope that you'll share it with a friend or give me a thumbs up or, you know, all those wonderful things. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. And I will see you next week. Bye.